Hey, how do you get noticed in a busy marketplace, especially if you feel like business is down? Hey, we've lived through the economy ups and downs. I know I have. Gosh, back in 2008, I thought I had it all figured out. I was going to be okay financially. I was getting a divorce, but then my former husband went into bankruptcy and everything got put on hold. I thought I was losing my homes, which I did eventually lose my homes. Didn't have any money coming in, and you got to figure it out. One of the things I did was educate myself. So I started taking classes at the SBA. I found a class with Mike Koenigs, and I went and took some of his classes to learn digital marketing. Even though I'd had a background in television, I knew television was changing and the internet was coming in. Just like today, AI is coming in and it's roaring in. Unlike the internet was a slower paced, AI is like a big roar. How do you keep up in the marketplace? How do you get found in the marketplace? We had the first customer find us through Chat GPT. They went on AI to search publishing companies, and that's how they found us. So how does your company going to get found by AI? How are you going to get found by AI? One of the number one things is to be known as a thought leader in your space and create a lot of content. You have to be out there. You have to be visible. Of course, one of the ways that we love to do this is with a book, but there's other ways too. You should be on podcasts, getting interviewed on podcasts. We now have capabilities that we can get you on a variety of podcasts every month. We just use this system for me, and I'm booked on 4 podcasts within the first month we've been using our new system. So if you're interested in doing that, let me know. But you need to get that authority. When you're interviewed by somebody else, that helps gain authority. When you have a book, that helps authority. That's the other reason it helped me get on these podcasts, is because I have multiple books. They're like, oh, she's an author. She's a Wall Street Journal, Amazon bestseller, award-winning author. Sure, we want to have her on, right? So you need to stack these things. It's like a credibility stack. And you need to use these tools. You need to start using social media, just putting yourself out there. I know a lot of you are afraid. I don't like doing videos myself, and I used to be a newscaster, for Pete's sakes. So you just have to put yourself out there. And even today with AI, you can make yourself a cartoon character if you want. You can use your voice. You can use 11 Labs and just clone your voice and use your voice with just video and not have your face out there if you don't want to. But you've got to start developing your personal brand. My oldest son, Nathan, he has a really successful media company, but then he decided, I'm going to develop my personal brand. And he's already got, I think, 200,000 followers on one of his social media channels on TikTok by just putting videos out there, right? And just telling people what they want to hear. And that means helping them learn something and get better and bring value. So if you have value you can bring and you can educate people, then they're going to want to listen to what you have to say. Because I know most people want to get better and grow. As Tony Robbins says, if you're not growing, you're dying. If your business is not innovating, then it's dying. So you need to keep your business innovating and top of mind. Gosh, I think it's Brian Tracy. He's writing a book a month. So every month he's rolling a book out. So that's keeping you top of mind. You're constantly putting content out. And that's what you need to do to be a successful entrepreneur. Continue to innovate and continue to put yourself out there. So how are you doing that? Are you doing social media? Are you creating content? So one of our secret things is that by creating a book, you're going to go slow to go fast. We slow down, we do a VIP day, book creation day. You get your book outlined and you create 6,000 to 10,000 words of content that go into that book during that day. Then we help you finish the book. But the secret is, once you have a book, guess what? You have at least a couple of years of content that you can repurpose over and over again just from the book that you created. You're not like every month going, all right, what are we going to say this month? I don't know, what should we talk about this month? You can use AI to help you, but if you have written this book and you give it to AI, AI can then create tons of quotes out of this book, can create blog posts out of the book, can create Twitter posts out of this book. Sorry, it's X now. So once you have that book, you have a ton of content that you can repurpose over and over again, and it elevates you as a thought leader. A book is probably the oldest tool in your bag of tricks, but it is the most relevant still today. That's why celebrities still are writing books. You see them go on media tours. It's a great excuse to get out there and to talk to people when you've launched a book. People want to talk to you and hear what you have to say. All right, I'm gonna give you another tip. I've talked about this before in other videos. I'm gonna summarize it real quick. If you're trying to figure out content, you don't know where to start, this is outside of AI. We use the 10 by 10 by 3 formula. So that's the 10 most frequently asked questions you get all the time in your business, your service, or about yourself. Think about it like you're at a dinner party. So what do you do? Where do you live? Where do you come from? What's your story? Where did you grow up? Oh, this is what I learned. And the conversation just turns where you're talking about yourself and you're sharing your expertise. My neighbors came by the other day. I was outside and they were walking by and they had a young daughter. She just got a job as an intern at a marketing company. And my neighbor said, tell her about the story that you did. And I said, oh, I was so proud of myself today. I made a GPT, which is like this custom AI tool that you can create. And I made it for sales letters because every time I was doing a follow-up, I'm like, all right, what am I going to say? I've learned all these different sales tools and things of structures of how you should write a follow-up email. So I put it all into a GPT. And now I just put in the basics of who the person is, the package that they want, their background, the book, etc., etc. And then I have it write it in the tone of my voice. And it's beautiful. It's so much easier. So now I don't have to use my brain as hard, right? Even though that's not a bad thing, but now it writes these things and I go, that's exactly what I want to say. I couldn't have written it any better. Of course, I go in and edit it some. And her daughter, who is in college, she didn't even know what a GPT was and had never really used ChatGPT. So these are some of the tools that we can teach you to use. We are now doing AI training for businesses and authors to help you streamline and make your life faster. So having that custom GPT, oh my gosh, it saved me probably 10 minutes per email. Even think about that over the course of time about how many emails you write. If you can save even 2 minutes for everything that you do, how that accumulates and how you could use that extra time to do something else and be more productive. But I am going to encourage you to make sure that you use your book and use your content in a book to become the top of your class in what you do. Be the king of content and be the king of your niche by writing a book and using podcast interviews, getting out there and get outside of your box. So when the economy is bad, my point is, you need to double down. You need to invest in yourself, invest in your business, invest in advertising and marketing because it pays off. It's like in my garden, I planted these cucumber seeds and I'm like, are they going to grow? Are they ever coming up? And then suddenly they came up and they're full of flowers and full of cucumbers. So you just have to plant those seeds and then they come out and they give you fruit, which is new business and new clients. So if you're interested, reach out to us, and I'd like you to get our new book called Be Recognized. We talk a lot about AI in there and creating content and how to become a thought leader. There's tons and tons of tips. So I hope you grab that book.